The cool intro with cars flying by. Welcome to Three Man Between the Sets. First song is called Push Me Around. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Somebody once told me that life wasn't gonna be easy. My whole life, it's only just another dead-end story. Go to college, good God, for the perfect cliche job. You'll work hard every day, and things won't turn out your way. And I'm not gonna be the one to let you push me around. No, I'm not gonna be the one to let you break me down. No, I'm not gonna be. No, I'm not gonna be. And I'm not gonna be the one to let you break me down. Time is flying, everybody dying, being hung. It's true by the ties on their business suits. Mechanized your thought, memorized everything they taught. Be all that you can be, whatever happened to originality. And I'm not gonna be the one to let you push me around. No, I'm not gonna be the one to let you break me down. No, I'm not gonna be. No, I'm not gonna be. And I'm not gonna be the one to let you break me down. Gonna be the one to let you push me around. No, I'm not gonna be the one to let you break me down. No, I'm not gonna be. No, I'm not gonna be. And I'm not gonna be the one to let you break me down. Somebody once told me that life wasn't gonna be easy. My whole life is only just another dead-end story. Go to college, good God, for the perfect cliche job. You'll work hard every day, and things won't turn out your way.
Welcome back, folks, for episode 4. Can we believe that we actually made it to 4 episodes,
4 episodes.
and didn't give up?
Hey, this is
nobody
when Star
watches.
Wars got good.
That's one less than 5.
I've got a question for you guys.
Okay.
What's a hidden gem movie? Like a movie it could be a cult classic, but like a movie that just you don't feel like enough people have seen or know about. Brandon.
There's a lot, but I'm going to say, probably, okay, it's down to 2. There's Legion, which is a super weird movie with Paul Bettany.
Is it the one, is it like based off the comic?
I don't know.
Is it the
I'm
one
not
like about
sure.
the angel? That,
Yeah, it's about Michael, like, leaving heaven, and then Gabriel comes to get him.
Okay.
And all that. They got to save the baby. Mm-hmm. And then all the demons come after him. That one's really good. And then my all-time favorite hidden gem that like hardly anyone ever talks about is Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, we're
Freaking
old. Me and
awesome
Lunchbox are old, so we know about that.
That was
movie,
primetime Disney.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Early, what's-her-face from Sex and the City, too.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker, yeah.
And then, what's his name? Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. Paul Rubens, yeah.
Yeah, voice
Which,
of Max.
when I first saw that movie, I thought that it was just some dude like doing a Pee Wee Herman impression because they're just trying to like build off the success of Pee Wee. But it's like, nope, that was him.
Yeah.
And I think he decided to just do that on his own. He's like, I'm just gonna play Pee Wee for a while here. You guys okay with that?
Favorite scene in there is when they do the little reference to the cow snatchers, and they land on that dairy farm, and all the cows, and they're like, "Well, we're out of here." Yeah. Love it.
The weird alien thing did kind of creep me out a little bit.
On the subject of Flight of the Navigator, I remember my mom took us to the movie theater in Washington when I was probably like 6 at the time or something. She took us to see Howard the Duck, thinking it was like a kid's movie.
Terrible.
And so we made it through like the first 10 minutes, and she's like, no. And took us back out, and we went and saw The Flight of the Navigator, and like forever, our family was like, hey, that's that great movie we saw instead of that other piece of shit. Like, that's what I always think of Flight of the Navigator.
Oh.
That weird alien in the ship that looks like an anglerfish, and then
Kinda
the
like
one
a
that
penis?
then the one that has a hyena laugh, and,
Yes.
and then the big eye.
The big eye thing. That's what creeped me out. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. That was my
Good
all-time
times.
favorite movie. I always called it Flight of the Alligator.
Flight of the Alligator. My hidden gem movie would be Kung Fu Hustle. Have you guys heard of that movie?
Great movie.
It's by this guy named Stephen Chow, I believe is his name, and he also did a movie called Shaolin Soccer, which is also good, but Kung Fu Hustle's fucking...
Kung Fu Hustle.
Now, is
It's a
Kung Fu
masterpiece.
Hustle the one where they're like in the apartment complex, and the lady and the she's always
landlady?
chain smoking?
Yes,
in her
the
room.
landlady. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great movie because, well, it's crazy because for one thing, like the tone is insane. It's like this. There's like slapstick, insane, Wile E. Coyote comedy, but then like these scenes of like horrible tragedy. Like there's like really emotional scenes in this movie, and then the very next scene is the guy and the landlady running like.
Yeah, I love
like,
the
flying along.
big bad guy, and he grabs the gun. Oh, they make these for men now.
Oh yeah, the toad, the frog guy.
yeah.
Oh my god, that whole scene, like one of the best scenes in the movie, is the husband and wife fighting the toad guy,
Yeah.
and it's like 3 60-year-old people, and it's one of the most incredible fight scenes I've ever
Badass.
seen in my
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
The choreography in that is super.
It's
solid.
crazy, and it's one of those newer style of Hong Kong type movies where they like it looks real, like they really look like they're just kicking each other right in the fucking head,
Super
like Tony Jaa. There's the Protector movies and Ong Bak.
Yeah.
Those movies, I cannot see how he's not just punching the people
Yeah.
in the face for real. You see fists go kunk and not just jack people right in the head. And it's like, how did they do that fake? That's impossible.
Was he the guy that like didn't know about movie magic and like?
So they did all the wire work
yeah.
for real,
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
didn't know how to do. He didn't know
Yeah.
anything about wire work,
Yeah.
because
But
he's
he
from
could just do that
Thailand,
shit, yeah.
yeah. Because that's his whole thing.
Insane.
He's like a Thai boxer, but
Yeah.
he's like a martial arts star. They do like full on like flying double knees into people's chests. Like the guy, like how did they do that scene without hurting the person? It's impossible.
No, I don't know.
Like
Hey, you pay somebody enough money, you'd be surprised at what
I
they
guess.
I can like miss like by a foot when I'm pretending to hit someone, and I'll still hit them.
Yeah.
So I have no fucking clue.
Yeah,
how
they
pull that
full
shit.
on do like straight up foot straight to face, like like there is foot hitting face. It's just like they must just really let themselves get hit in the face.
Maybe.
They must. Anyway, what's your hidden gem movie, sir?
Oh man, I can't remember if we were talking about this on camera or off camera, but Terry Gilliam, Brazil.
Haven't seen it. Heard good things. I saw a review of it the other day.
So
on
it's
some
like
channel.
Orwellian dystopian future, super bureaucracy, and it all starts with this like rogue militia air conditioning repairman who is supposed to be arrested, but they get the wrong guy, and this dude's just a paper pusher, and he finds out that it's a mistake and tries to fix it through their bureaucratic process and becomes like the state's #1 fucking terrorist.
Yeah.
And then they spend the rest of the movie with him being chased around because of a bureaucratic paperwork snafu. It's got De Niro in it. It's got the dude that played Mario in the Mario Brothers and
yeah.
Roger Rabbit.
What is his name? Bob.
Haskins.
He was Shmee. In,
Yeah, he was
Yep.
Shmee. Oh, so good.
Bob Hoskins.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Sounds, yeah, that's it.
So good. I recommend it to anybody.
It's funny that the movie you come up with is he was Mario in the Mario movie, like the worst movie of all time.
No, that was my backup movie if we hadn't already talked about Brazil.
I think I should eat this mushroom. No.
The scene in Brazil where they're pulling the drawer back and forth.
Yes.
I saw that at 7 in the
Spoiler
morning,
alert.
and I would not stop laughing.
Oh, it's so good.
So
That's
good.
what I've heard. It's actually a really funny movie. Like it's kind of like the funny version of 1984,
Right,
basically,
yep,
is what
yep.
what I gather.
Well,
Even
and
though I
it's the
haven't
guy
seen
that
it.
did he did time what is it, Time Bandits. He
Oh,
did
yeah.
a ton of yep.
Well, he
And,
did Monty Python
Monty
too. Didn't he?
Python
Quest for the
and-
Holy Grail. Yeah.
I mean, it's got an all-star cast before anybody was anybody. It's fantastic.
There's like a documentary about Terry Gilliam's Dune. He was going to make Dune at one point,
Whoa.
and apparently it was like psychotic. Like
I would watch that
They
Dune.
couldn't figure out how to make it into a real movie, so it just kind of like fell off, and they never ended up doing anything.
I want to see a Dune Beetlejuice crossover with the sandworms. That's what I want to see.
Sandworms
Yeah.
fighting the
Think
weird
about
other
that shit.
worms from Beetlejuice.
Yes.
What?
The stripy white and black ones.
What?
They look just like a dune worm. with one less mouth opening.
Okay.
Muad'Dib. That's from Dune.
Oh no.
That his name is a killing word. Wouldn't that suck if saying your own name made your gun blast off and explode solid rock?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to watch this movie.
Yeah, have you not seen Dune?
No.
They use guns where they trigger at using these special words, and like one of them says his name, his given name, Muad'Dib, and his gun goes and like shoots like a huge rock out of the wall or something.
Awesome.
Nope. No.
Yeah, it's a crazy. That was
it.
my guilty pleasure movie from last time we were talking
Yeah.
about. There's something super watchable about that movie, like the
Another reference
acting.
to another episode.
The acting is terrible. The special effects are just weird as shit, but something about them is like really watchable. Like I love the crazy, shitty special effects in that movie.
I love those kind of things. Tony and I were at the bar and we were watching the original Casino Royale. Terrible movie.
No,
It's
not
hilarious.
one mention of Bend It Like Beckham, says Chris Corio. I'm disappointed in you all.
I don't know what that is.
Bend it like Beckham.
Some
It's a soccer
I haven't
movie
seen it either.
about David Beckham. I was more of a Pele fan myself.
I'm more of a not soccer fan myself.
Yeah. I don't.
You wait. You have kids. They'll play soccer.
I know. I'm not looking forward
I
to
got
it.
kicked out of indoor soccer. So
My kids are probably going to play basketball. They don't really have a choice.
That's because you
It's not-
tackled somebody,
yeah,
Brandon.
but I still have a grudge against soccer.
From the age of 5.
I went from playing football, and then they were like, "Oh, you should play indoor soccer for the K-High team." I play football. Like I'm in training. We still need you to do this. It'll gain popularity. So the second game, I tackled someone, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I just see a dude running at me.
That's a good way to get out of it.
You know, makes sense.
Chris says he's 100% not serious about the Bend It Like Beckham.
Sure. he is.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
To be clear.
It's his favorite.
Song is called Down and Out, and we almost always play it last. However, it's third to last today. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's got to be something wrong. I've never felt so good. All that time I spent depressed, down and out and obsessed. It's weight that I left behind. With your memories drowning fast. So listen closely to my words, 'cause this song is your last.
I'm always right, and you are wrong. So enjoy this, 'cause it's your last song.
And it took some time to see that when you're not with me, I am strong, I don't back down, and I have a blast when you're not around. I'm not sorry for what I did, I don't regret the things I do. I regret that we ever met, and I feel sorry for you.
I'm always right, and you are wrong. So enjoy this, 'cause it's your last song. I'm always right, and you are wrong.
enjoy this, 'cause it's your last song.
I got a hole in my armpit.
I've got 2.
Yeah. When you're a tall dude, Lee probably understands this. You rip armpit holes like nobody's business.
Boom.
When you're a tall man. And crotches out of pants, too. You buy cheap-ass pants from Walmart, take a couple of good strides, that shit's gone.
No, I buy the good pants, so it always rips on the ass pocket every single time.
Yeah, that
That's what
happens,
I'm
too.
talking about. Easy access to
Speaking
the
of,
ass.
back in the rollerblading days, that would happen a lot. I would end up
Dude,
falling on
boots.
my ass so many times that the pocket would just, like, rip off the fucking back.
That's why. For anyone who was wondering why Tracy always had holes.
Let me
his
see if
pants.
my headphones and my cable reach far enough that I can go get a beer. You guys talk.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
What,
Coffee talk.
what do you want to talk about,
Oh man, do you know what I want to talk about?
Tracy? 'cause
Before
he's gone.
Tracy gets, I want to talk about Tracy
Yeah.
and his gross fascination.
Shit, he's
with
back. Shut up.
And that's why the watermelon is superior to the mango in more ways than one.
Where's the predator head?
Yeah, let's see it. You ready for this movie magic?
Whoa! We should just keep that around.
Ask my wife. My superpower is I can open a beer with fucking anything.
Anything?
Anything.
Is Jen watching?
Anything.
Can
No, she's not watching. She's my wife.
Oh.
Sad.
That was-
No, we were in Vegas one time and I bought a beer, and of course nobody will let you borrow a bottle opener. They want you to buy it. So I found a pamphlet and I took it and I like rolled it up real tight and then bent it in half. Jen was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna open this beer with a piece of paper."
That's
It's
super
beautiful.
You're not
It's-
one of those a-holes that'll just do it with your teeth?
Oh no, I've paid way too much money for these teeth to do that.
That sounds awful.
Having bad teeth is expensive.
I have perfect teeth. It's the weirdest thing.
I got some gold and some more gold, and
They're not white, but they're perfect.
they had to pack some cadaver bone up into my nasal cavity.
Is
And
that for real?
Cool.
yeah,
Oh, that's fucked up.
yeah,
That's
it's a
awesome.
good time. So,
got
yeah,
some
we don't
dead-
open things with our mouth.
You got some dead people in your face?
They don't. I forgot what they called it though. He called it something. I'm like, that's cadaver bone, isn't it? And he's like,
That's the
Yeah.
that's the talk bubble right there for the next episode. You got dead people in your face?
I taste dead people.
Whoa.
I'm always trying to, as we're doing the podcast, trying to think of what's the moment we're going to put the talking bubble in the
Yeah.
thumbnail.
Talking
I
about
like it. Yeah, no, because my bone between my jaw here and my sinus cavity wasn't thick enough for an implant, so they drilled it out and then shoved a bunch of bone, cadaver bone up there,
Super messed up.
and then they let it sit and it becomes my bone. Wow. So I'm like a chimera now. I am two people.
So, what is the video game you guys have played that you've gotten the angriest? What's the worst you've ever raged playing a game? What game and how did you happen to rage?
All right, so you guys remember Battletoads?
Oh, yeah.
The cartoon? The worst fucking video game ever made?
Not worst. It's just, yeah.
Hardest.
It's well known as
Right.
one of the hardest games.
Never played it.
So there's a scene where you're like on this airplane kind of jet ski thing, and you've got to go up or down over these obstacles, and some of them are high and some of them are low, but it gets to a point where it goes so fast that you can't even see them. You just have to memorize it.
Ugh.
And even then, you only can get past it if you're like super lucky. And
not that good at
10-year-old
pushing
Michael
buttons.
was neither fast nor lucky.
You were 10 years old?
10, I think. Yeah, somewhere around there. It was an original Game Boy before you were born.
Way before
And
I was born.
needless to say, not only did I never pass it, that game learned how to swim.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw Angry Video Game Nerd video of him and his buddy Mike beating that part. So like,
Oh,
they actually
man.
beat it co-op even.
Holy
yeah.
cow.
But it took him like 10,000 tries
Yeah.
for real. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I'd
It
lose
kind
my
of
shit.
reminded me of Cuphead. Have you played the new
Oh,
Cuphead?
I haven't played it, but I've seen
Oh,
tons
yeah,
of
yeah.
gameplay. It looks amazing.
I played it for about an hour one
Oh,
night
is that
and
the
haven't
one
picked
that
it up
looks
again.
Like the
It's like
vintagey-
old-timey,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that looks super
One of the
cool.
only
Super
games
good.
in the last like 20 years that my wife looked at and was like, "That looks awesome." 'Cause
It's
she's
super
into,
fun,
like,
and the kids like it until it gets hard.
she's into like like period stuff like that, like old timey looking things. Bowler hats and flowers that spray in people's
And
faces.
cholera.
It looks awesome.
The angriest I ever got at a game, and I've done a lot of gaming. I've been a hardcore gamer for a long time. I've played all the Battlefields, all the Call of Duties, all that shit. The angriest I ever got was playing UFC Undisputed 1. So back in 2009. It's just a UFC like fighting style game. Really cool. It's a great game. Like just tons
it was magic.
tons of options and stuff you can do. Like they really thought of like everything in this game. But like you start going through your career and you build up your fighter in whatever you want. In ground game, of course, I just wanted my guy to be like a badass striker with tons of takedown defense. So like nobody could take me down. I knock them out. You eventually get to somebody though that's so good, you hit a brick wall if you hadn't worked on the right stats. Like the guy just submits you in 2 seconds every time, throws you on the ground, submits you. I got so fucking mad that I pounded my hand on the side of my my chair so bad that I think I broke my hand. I didn't go to the hospital, but I had like this searing pain right on that bone on like my pinky knuckle there for like a year afterwards. I probably like actually fractured my hand. Yeah, like an idiot. I was so mad playing UFC Undisputed.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, this is just a crap little game. Like I was like a Call of Duty god at the exact same time, and I didn't get that mad playing Call of Duty ever. I actually injured myself for real playing UFC Undisputed 1.
So I'm definitely not much of a video game person. Like, I mean, we had a PlayStation. I don't remember how old I was, but we got 10 minutes on it total. We all had to share 10 minutes, and then it was, do whatever. But Crash Bandicoot was the video game that we had. So there was this level where you have to jump up this wall, and if you fall, you don't die. You just go all the way back to the beginning, but you can't see what's up above you. So we'd get all the way to where we think it's the top, and then we'd fall all the way down. And we just take turns to see, who could beat it or whatever. But yeah, I got really far, like the farthest we've ever been, and it's like all, new, undiscovered. And then as soon as I got up past that point, I fell. It was like, God damn it. And I didn't get like super pissed, but I was frustrated. Like I threw that remote into the couch cushion where I knew it wouldn't break.
Yeah.
So
That was my fear.
I have the remake of that game. Remember the bridge? Remember the bridge levels?
Yeah.
The second bridge level, I went in with 99 lives and got past it with 6.
Wow.
And there was a point where I was about to throw the controller across the room, and then remembered there's $60. Put it down, and I walked away.
That's what I thought too. I was like, oh man, someone bought us this. This is expensive stuff, and it was like that was our treasure at the time. For those of you wondering, that was Lee. Our audio engineer.
Yes,
man.
that's true. You can't see Lee ever.
You can't
so.
see Lee.
Nor should you.
Yeah, he is a sight for sore eyes, and I get to stare at him the whole time.
And I'm
doing
staring
this.
right back at you, baby.
I know.
They do
I'm
give me a
never
mic,
tired
though.
of it. Yeah.
I saw Mark Osborne once break an Xbox controller with his bare hands out of pure rage. And that was playing Call of
Did
Duty.
he like snap it or did he crumble it?
I think he like twist and snapped it, the whole thing in half. Yeah, broke it with his bare hands. I even remember the specific game. We were playing Call of Duty Black Ops 1, which is a game we were gods at. Like, we were fucking kings at that game. And we were on one of our crazy 30-game win streaks, which was nothing for us. And we actually came up against this amazing fucking, like, a full 6-person team that were way, way better than us, which never, ever, ever happened. I'm not trying to pump myself up. It's not that great to be great at Call of Duty in the first place. But for real, like, we just didn't lose. But we actually came up against this team that was fucking insane, and I'm the only person that did well. I had a good game. Everybody else got completely slaughtered, and Mark like went fucking ballistic because he was so pissed off. Like,
My brothers, I'm the oldest of 3. My 2 younger brothers, Chase and Justin, who are also famous people.
Yes.
By the way, they got super pissed at video games, and I just remember like thinking how ridiculous it was. And then then I'd turn around and be my turn, and I'd get super pissed too. But like, I just remember Justin one time, he was like gripping it and almost foaming at the mouth. And it was one of the scariest fucking things I've ever seen. Like, his eyes just went like super wide and thin, and I swear they turned red.
That's
something.
what's known as nerd rage.
Oh, yeah. He was in full nerd rage mode. And then he went and ate
left it.
pickles or something, and he was good to go.
As one does. Little ditty called Balsa Wood, which is maybe a 4th actual true and everything else was just kind of made up because it sounded good in the song. I have no idea why I wrote this song, to be honest. I don't even know why I thought it was really funny, and I don't really think it's funny now, but people love this song.
It's not because you were mad at the world.
He was in
No.
a dark place.
It wasn't because I was in a dark place.
And he was mad at Walmart.
I wanted to talk shit about Walmart greeters. That's why.
I miss Walmart greeters.
That's right. They don't do that anymore.
No.
Wow. What a waste. That was the one thing they had going for them.
That was
Now
my
they're just going to go out of
retirement
business
plan.
for sure. Alrighty. Song's called Balsa Wood.
Well, I don't know what I was thinking. I was a fool, she was a pretty little freshman. For some reason, took it upon myself to make this shit my girlfriend. Little did I know she was starving for attention. Stuck up all of herself in an errand not to mention. Kinda got to me when she first had her hair blonde, but it really pissed me off when I first saw this pom-pom. I lost my virginity to a cheerleader. Guess it beats a Walmart greeter. That's the way the story goes. I lost my virginity to a cheerleader. Irony don't get much sweeter. That's the way the story goes for me. And after about 2 years of shit, I stood up for myself, decided I was sick of it. Confronted her beside the pop machines, spontaneously could busted her into a cheer routine. Took a break for a while, and in that time I thought about her sweet and pretty smile. So I called her up to ease her mind, and she dumped me on my ass. I'm so sad because I lost my virginity to a cheerleader. Balsa wood don't smell like cedar. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I don't know, I needed words to rhyme it. So come on LB, let's double time it. I don't know why this girl and I couldn't set our differences aside. She broke my heart and twisted up my mind. Put a bullet in my soul for the 1,000th time. I'm sorry. I lost my virginity to a cheerleader. I lost my virginity to a cheerleader. I lost my virginity to a cheerleader. I lost my virginity to a cheerleader.
Just a young kid, mad at the world.
In a dark place.
Just all those you. he was in
Mad
a
at the
dark
fact that I
place.
lost my virginity for some reason.
To a cheerleader.
Not a Walmart greeter.
Well, like half the reason I came up with the idea is because I had multiple girlfriends who turned cheerleader within the course of us dating, which I hated the idea of dating a cheerleader. I dated 3 different girls that weren't cheerleaders and like became cheerleaders, including
turned them into
including the one.
cheerleaders.
Yeah, some guys turn girls lesbian. I turn them cheerleader. My life is so devoid of spirit that they
They
need
just gotta pump you up.
They need that extra boost of
Clearly,
spirit.
Pump that Tracy
you were
spirit
not
up.
being aggressive. Being aggressive.
Oh man, they wanted a T. They wanted an R.
Yeah.
They wanted an A.
CY.
And what does that spell?
Mad at the world. It's like that joke. There's no such thing as lesbians. Only women that haven't met me. There's no such thing as non-cheerleaders. Just girls that haven't dated Tracy.
Yeah. Well, Doors are closed on that department now.
Yeah, they are.
Did Kelly become a cheerleader?
Where the hell are we going to get cheerleaders now?
Kelly was a ballet dancer forever, so cheerleading was beneath her.
Wow. Yeah. There you go.
So all you cheerleaders out there that already hated my wife, just know she thinks you suck.
That's all she talks about. all
Tracy
the
moved
time.
up in the world.
Like, what's up, Kelly? I haven't seen you in weeks. She's like, fuck cheerleaders. Like,
First
okay,
thing out of her
Kelly.
mouth
Every time I run into her.
She's got that tattooed on her neck.
That would be a sweet tattoo, by the way.
Some people have skinhead. She has fuck cheerleaders on her forehead. That's the woman I married.
That is the mother of your children.
We got one more song. I actually used the subject during the last segment instead of this one, so
Man, you're just blowing the movie
you
magic.
have to
today.
come up with something else to talk about until we play the last song.
Tracy
here.
gives us these lists that have the set list and the topics we're going to talk about.
No, he doesn't. Non-scripted.
And
Oh,
for
yeah.
$50,
But
we'll
speaking
sign
of-
this and give it to you.
Oh,
You know,
Brandon can't see it,
Brandon
though.
was talking about how
How he loved video games.
he did a modeling shoot. So let's show that real quick and he got to play a raging gamer.
Model
And
Brandon.
since we were talking about video game rage,
I was a
we figured-
model.
Yeah, it's not very good
Was.
quality pictures, but
Well, because these are the tiny little thumbnails that I never saw the real pictures.
you're wearing some tight pants in those.
I wear tight pants all the time.
These are like the tightest pants I own. I just bought these, and I noticed in our last music video that like, man, these are really tight pants.
I
It's
have
pretty ridiculous.
RLS, which is restless leg syndrome. So baggy pants, it feels like there's something on me, and I can't stand that. So I need something that like doesn't feel like there's anything.
You would
on
not
me.
have been a good high schooler during the late 90s.
Oh, yeah, no.
No.
Get you some Jinkos.
I
wore some
I
big
had
fucking pants.
Jenkos,
Yeah.
and those were like bigger, and I still couldn't feel them. So those were okay.
Yeah.
I was cool as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I had a pair that had an embroidered kangaroo in the back pocket, but the pockets weren't even at your ass. The pocket started like halfway down my calf
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then went to the floor.
Yeah.
It was a completely you know what? That's when I started using a wallet chain so that I could keep my wallet in my fucking ankle pocket and then use my chain connected to my belt to pull it out when I had to pay for stuff.
I wasn't born yet during that fad, but I was in elementary school.
Not born
And
yet.
so I would sneak my big baggy pants because my mom didn't like them. I would sneak them into my backpack and wear the regular jeans that she got me. And halfway to school, I'd put those bad boys on. So uncomfortable
Yeah.
the whole fucking time, but boy, did I look cool to myself.
See, I was a rollerblader, as we discussed, so you had to wear big baggy pants, especially back then when you were a rollerblader, because your pants had to go over the top of your skates. It was really dorky to like tuck your pants
See, and I
in.
always thought it the opposite way. I thought tucking shit in was super cool.
Yeah, See, not by the late 90s. No, that was not you. You wanted just like the toe of your skate, so you just see
Right.
like the toe and a tiny little wheel sticking out from under your giant Jinkos.
That looks cool,
Yeah, way cool.
I guess.
See, growing
I
up,
actually rocked big pants well into like the early 2000s. Still, yeah, I didn't.
yeah,
I
you
didn't
did.
switch to wearing smaller pants until like 2010.
Yeah.
I was still wearing pretty big pants.
see, the bad
more
thing about
comfortable.
Jinkos in the village, like you'd be walking through like 4 feet of snow, and the giant bell bottoms would like swing and create this vacuum, and it would like suck snow up your legs.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
See, I was a big D. Snyder fan, and he wore like the super tightest anything he could find.
Oh, you're a big Twisted fan,
I
or
used
just
to be.
just D. Snyder?
D. Snyder, and yeah, like, he's one of my heroes.
Snyder
But I
in the
like
movie
Twisted Sister
Strangeland.
a lot too.
Oh yeah, we got to watch that documentary.
Oh yeah,
sometime.
yeah.
the-
I've never seen that.
It's
I'm
awesome.
A big Twisted Sister fan.
like a crazy history of Twisted Sister. They were I think they're from Long Island, and like they were like famous before they ever got
Yeah.
a record deal. They were a huge
Yeah, I've
fucking
heard
band
the story.
making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, like without even having a record deal, and nobody would sign them just because they were like ridiculous looking band, and they had a lot of crazy onstage antics apparently back in their early days. But
Yeah.
If you ever want to watch that, it's on Netflix.
yeah, it's on Netflix. Also, the Rush Behind the Lighted Stage, I believe, is the name of it. That's another great documentary. I've told you guys about this one too. Even the Eagles documentary is fucking incredible, and I hate the Eagles.
I hate
Not a
the
fan at
Eagles,
all.
too.
The documentary is great. Don Henley has the least similar to his speaking voice I've ever heard in my life. Like his voice is just like so we're playing in the Eagles down here. And then he's like, love will keep us alive. Like, his voice is so different. He sounds like the mashed taters guy from Sling Blade.
Johnson.
Yeah. No, Sling Blade. So back in 1975, we started playing in the Eagles. Like, his voice seriously sounds like that. For real.
That sounds like Mashed Potatoes Johnson.
Mashed Potatoes Johnson.
The next morning, the police shot him in the eye 52 times.
The next day, as his head was flying from his body, he wrote, "Can you hear the train a-comin'?"
I was doing that with my daughter.
Mashed Potatoes Johnson.
Yeah, I was doing the Mashed Potato Johnson voice. She had just taken a bath. And I was doing the, hey, I got blues, and I'm Mashed Potato Johnson. And she was just smiling super big. It was hilarious.
She's going to be a blues fan.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Well, this one is the last song, and it's called My Last Sunrise.
See my life flashing before my eyes at the break of my last sunrise. Pictures of my memory are burning in my head. Thoughts that I cannot speak of, twisted down my conscience reeks of. My lips are trembling from the things that I said. Whoa, these memories fade away. These memories fade away. So as I lie here waiting, I feel my vitals failing. My screams of forgiveness are pooling in my eyes. For everyone I beat down, I wish that they could see now the mistakes that I have realized. Whoa, these memories fade away. Whoa, these memories fade away. I hear my heart rate slowing, the morning lights ascending. Uneasiness is growing, this life is finally ending. Whoa, these memories fade away. Whoa, these memories fade away. See my life before my eyes, at the break of my last sunrise. Pieces of my memory are burning in my head. Thoughts that I cannot speak of, twisted down my conscience reeks of. Lips are trembling from the things that I said.
We did it! Nailed it.
Let that cool vision of those cars driving by lull you to sleep,
Ugh.
because we know you're going to bed at
Go to sleep.
8:40 in the evening.
Go to bed.